Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead video, updated on Monday the 22nd of December. And the CFS taking us into high pressure, building down towards the south, higher than normal heights during week one, low than normal up towards the north, and trying to bring in these northwesterlies, which I think is how really the end of this week ends up. But we are going to see some stormy weather moving through as well, particularly through Boxing Day, or the latter part of Boxing Day, into Saturday. And that's going to open the door to cooler northerly winds. Now into week two, the CFS really does try to pull in the idea of a north to northeasterly flow, bringing cooler conditions for a time, with this ridge building out into the Atlantic. It's trying to go with this idea of a cooler end to the year, which of course is what we were hinting at. I'm just not sure now it's going to be that northerly. I think the west to west northwesterlies may try and break through, and I think this run of the CFS probably just went over the top a little bit with it, but it certainly sees that idea of cooler weather taking hold for a time. But then it does try to bring the west to west northwesterlies back in, look, by the time we're into early January. So it's not going with a cold for long, but just takes us back basically into a very similar pattern that we've seen through that early part of December, with those cool west to west northwesterly winds, and just occasionally pushing colder air further south, bringing the risk of sleet and snow. But nonetheless, cool conditions, certainly the order of the day. And then into week four at the moment, the CFS trying to do this, puts the low heights up towards the north, builds the ridge to the south, so it kind of builds us in again with more of a northwesterly flow, and it's that may drive colder air even further south. So it could mean that we do see this risk, this threat of sleet and snow getting even further south through the country as January progresses. But nevertheless, what it's hinting at is this cool start to January, which of course is what we've been talking about. We've been advising private clients of this, that January looks as if it could be quite a cool one. Incidentally, if you're interested in being a private client, just get in touch, use the contact form at the top of the page. Private clients range from everybody from individual farmers to shop owners, all the way through to multinational PLCs. So if you're interested, get in touch and we can tell you more about what we do. Now, I haven't looked at the MJO for a wee while. This is the ECMWF MJO, valid from the 21st, so valid from yesterday through to the 4th of January. So it's a 15-day from the ECMWF. to green line we're interested in, and you notice here, look, it hovers around in phase 3 for the first week, so up to around about the sort of 27th, 28th of January. Then it brings us through phases 4 and into phase 5. The transition's really the important thing there, and it's taken us into phase 4 around about the 26th. It's bringing us into phase 5 around about the 30th. So it's seeing this transition through these phases, and if you just compare that to the MJO on the CFS, does a very, very similar thing, look. So it's trying to go with a kind of a similar idea. It seems as if it's seeing very similar things. It pulls us through phase 3 into phase 4 around the 1st. Then it brings us into phase 5 around the 7th, and then it brings us into phase 6 around the 12th of January. So it's seeing those dates as the key dates as we progress. Now, ECMWF, of course, was doing it a lot quicker, the CFS slowing it down. But what phases 4, 5 and 6 look like is this. This is phase 4, typical phase 4, given similar El Nino conditions to the ones that we have at the moment. This is from AmericanWeather.com. And I'm not sure this is a pattern that's going to get going here. This doesn't look as if this is going to try and get in, although the earliest GFS from early this morning did do it. So this would be from the 1st through to around the 7th of January. And I have to say, like I say, huge question mark over this one. But what it does, it puts a big trough out in the Atlantic, builds a ridge off towards the east here, puts the flow something like that. So effectively the north and the east of the country are cold, and there's a battle taking place with milder Atlantic air always trying to get in from the west and from the south. Now, actually the GFS from earlier did present this sort of solution and did look very similar to this. Phase 5 looked like this. Deep low up towards the north, very strong jet stream, very, very stormy conditions breaking through. And of course phase 5 was from around the 7th to the 12th of January. That would bring in very strong winds. And then phase 6 sees the trough up towards the north. This is the 12th through to around the 18th. Sees the trough towards the north, high building here, colder northwesterly flow down through the country, more unsettled up towards the north. That's how previous years with a similar MJO and a similar El Nino have fared. Now, like I say, question mark over it really. I'm not sure that is the way this is going to be. If you take out the El Nino effect, this is what you get for phase 3. So we'd see phase 3 with high through us over the top like so. Now of course that's not what we've seen at the moment either, is it? Phase 4 looking like that. Of course we saw that from about the 1st onwards. Low pressure up towards the north, high heights down towards the south, cold west to northwesterly flow. That's looking more believable as phase 4 early January. Phase 5 then like this, which would be from about the 7th to the 12th of January. Low normal heights, stormy look. So I think we've got to go for this risk. It is on both MJOs there. This idea of becoming stormy for a time that early part of January with a westerly wind, not particularly very warm stormy winds either. I think we're going to go widespread gales in that period. And then phase 6, if you take out the MJO, looking like that. This is phase 6, so this would be from the 12th to the 18th. Built in the bridge off towards the west, trough off towards the east, trough out here, so you get that sort of pattern taking place. So a cooler but a calmer northwesterly flow. And I think this is the one that we probably have to go with. What that does set us up for though is the potential for a real cold hit at the end of January. I think generally what we're looking at is temperatures near or below normal for January, but it could be that the final third of the month is the coldest of all. So uncertainty there. We've got more detail on our private client site. So if you're a private client, you'll be able to see an additional video on there, just bring you up to date on some of the thoughts and thinking and where we're going with this. That'll be available very, very soon. But for now, thanks again for watching, and whatever you're doing, keep the sun shining, and bye for now.